Ukraine just got all 13 of the UK's promised Raven SAM air defense systems. If you haven't seen one, imagine a British Special Forces truck with fighter jet missiles bolted on like it's a weekend project that got out of hand. And here's the part that matters. This is a working, mobile, short-range air defense system built for the exact kind of cheap aerial harassment Russia loves. So today, I'm going to break down what Raven is, how it probably hunts targets, what its missiles can actually do, and why 13 of these systems can punch way above their weight in Ukraine's air war. Hey everyone, Wes O'Donnell here, multi-branch post-9/11 veteran of the U.S. Army Infantry and the U.S. Air Force. And I hate to break it to my fellow grunts who stayed behind in the Army, but all the stories are true. The Air Force is objectively better for quality of life. Now, the news. UK officials confirmed that 13 Raven air defense systems have been provided to Ukraine. That closes the loop on a delivery pipeline that has been quietly feeding Ukraine a nasty little drone killer. Let's be honest about what Russia is doing. Russia throws waves of one-way attack drones, cruise missiles, and glide bombs at Ukraine because it is cheap pressure. It forces Ukraine to spend expensive interceptors, it strains radar coverage, it burns crews out, and it tries to make daily life unlivable. Ukraine does not need one perfect air defense shield. Ukraine needs layers, numbers, mobility, and fast reaction. That is where Raven lives. It is a short-range system that can ride with units, guard a point target, and change position before Russia can line up a clean follow-up shot. Raven is basically a ground launcher for the AIM-132 ASRAAM missile mounted on a Supacat platform. For the Brits, who are stereotypically pretty stuffy, this is an ingenious piece of lateral thinking. Congrats, Your Majesty, that Raven is dynamite.
We better not risk another frontal assault. That rabbit's dynamite.
Why don't we all just stop what we're doing and watch Monty Python together? No, we have to finish the video. The ASRAAM is a short-range air-to-air missile. It is fast, infrared-guided, and designed for quick engagements. UK defense reporting commonly describes it as a Mach 3 class missile with a range over 25 kilometers in air-to-air use. Now, ground launching changes the envelope. You lose altitude and initial speed from an aircraft launch, so do not let anyone sell you on the 25-kilometer guaranteed as a ground-based truth. But even with a reduced range, you still get something extremely valuable. A fast, heat-seeking interceptor that can shred drones and low-flying cruise missiles inside a tactical bubble. Also, Supacat vehicles have a reputation for being quick, rugged, and comfortable with misery. That is very British. If it's cold, wet, and awful, the UK shows up with a vehicle that can drive through it while someone complains politely about the tea. The platform matters because Raven is not meant to sit on a perfect pad with a parade ground maintenance schedule. It needs to move, it needs to hide, and it needs to fire from wherever it can. Mobility is survivability in Ukraine, or as I said before on this channel, speed is armor. The public photos suggest Raven likely uses an electro-optical sighting system rather than a giant radar truck. Reporting has pointed to the Hawkeye EOSS from Chess Dynamics as a likely sensor kit, meaning an EO and IR turret that detects, identifies, and tracks targets visually and thermally. That matters because it's passive, it does not scream on the spectrum the way a radar does. It's hard to geolocate quickly, and it's excellent for drones, which often have small radar signatures but clear thermal and visual cues. So Raven is less air defense battery and more armed sentry. A system that can park near what you care about and swat away what comes in low. The ASRAAM itself is an infrared homing missile. In plain English, it goes after heat. That makes it a natural tool against Shahed-type drones with hot piston engines. Helicopters also, and low aircraft, and some cruise missiles, depending on the aspect and the conditions. It also means Raven is not trying to be a Patriot. It is not the system you use to hunt ballistic missiles. It is a knife fight weapon, and in Ukraine's air war, knife fights happen every night. Now, some people will hear 13 units, and they'll shrug. Don't. These are mobile SHORAD units. They can disperse, they can protect convoys, they can defend a stretch of frontline logistics, they can cover a gap when a bigger system has to relocate or conserve missiles. The real value comes from forcing Russia to deal with more uncertainty at low altitude. Russia loves predictable air defense layouts. Russia loves fixed sites. Russia loves systems that can be mapped, targeted and saturated. Raven complicates that. 13 Ravens means Ukraine can place more local kill zones around high-value nodes, and Russia has to either accept losses or change routes. Either option costs Russia time and planning effort, which it does not handle well in their corruption-laden military. Here's a clean way to think about it. High-tier systems like Patriot or SAMP handle the big threats, high altitude and some ballistic and cruise missile defense. Mid-tier systems handle aircraft and cruise missiles in a wider defense bubble. Raven sits lower than that. It helps with the persistent stuff, the attrition stuff, the cheap stuff that still kills people. It also helps preserve expensive interceptors. If Raven can kill the drone, you don't waste a premium missile on a target that costs Russia a fraction of the price. Now, Raven has constraints, and we need to talk about them because we're adults. First, it is short range. It cannot defend a whole city by itself. Second, it depends on line of sight and engagement geometry. EO and IR sensors are excellent, but weather, clutter, and terrain actually matter more than they would if you had a radar. Third, missile stock matters. You can have the best launcher on Earth, but if you don't have enough missiles, you're just driving a very angry pickup truck. So, Raven is not a national shield. It is a tactical asset that saves lives in a specific place at specific moments. And that is still huge. The Brit solution to a modern drone war has a distinct vibe. It looks like a sensible truck, a missile meant for dogfights, and a quiet, competent sensor suite. It solves a real problem without demanding a 10-year procurement cycle, a committee, and a 900-slide PowerPoint deck. It is direct, it is practical, it is what happens when you decide you would rather win than posture. And it looks like something a British Sergeant Major would approve of, right before telling you to stop smiling and get off his grass. The reporting around the sensor supplier suggests there may be more EO systems headed into mobile air defense units, and analysts have speculated that could mean additional Ravens or related UK-provided systems, maybe some that we don't know about. If the UK expands Raven deliveries, it becomes a volume play. More mobile interceptors, more local coverage, more Russian drones dying without getting a viral explosion clip. Russia does not fear headlines. Russia fears systems that quietly reduce the effectiveness of its nightly terror campaign. So yes, Raven looks improvised, but warfare does not award points for elegance. It awards points for effects. 13 Ravens in Ukraine means more flexibility, more survivability, and more dead drones. And if you are sitting in Moscow watching your unstoppable drone campaign get chewed up by British trucks with fighter missiles on the back, you have to wonder how the mighty Russian war machine keeps losing arguments to hardware that looks like it came out of a shed. My point is, it may be ugly, but it does the job. That's it for today, my friends. When you subscribe and hit that notification bell, it proves that you prefer real humans instead of robots. Hey, if you like robots, that's your thing, man. Get your freak on. I ain't judging you. And as always, glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. Crimea is Ukraine.